Oasis are back. Noel and Liam Gallagher have announced they'll be reuniting to go on tour next year. Now, tickets are sure to fly, but many are asking, is there a pre-sale? And do you have a chance in hell of bagging a ticket? Also, will the rock and roll stars be recording any new music? Oasis will reunite to play shows across the UK and Ireland next summer. And you'll be able to buy your tickets this Saturday at 9 AM for the UK dates and 8 AM for the Irish shows. Now remember, back in 1996, an incredible 2.5 million people applied for the tickets to their 2 dates at Knebworth. That's about 5 times as many people who attended Taylor Swift concerts in the UK this summer. It's recommended you register with ticket agencies ahead of time. And you'll need to be quick because there is no pre-sale. Some keen-eyed fans have spotted there are gaps in between the city dates. Does this mean that extra dates could be added? Definitely. Maybe. And fear not, if you're an Oasis superfan but live outside of Europe, then stay tuned because the statement also announced plans are underway for Oasis Live 25 to go to other continents outside of Europe later next year. At this stage, there has been no suggestion or denial that Liam and Noel Gallagher will get back into the studio together to make some new music. But what we do know is that Oasis are releasing a 30th anniversary deluxe edition of Definitely Maybe on all formats this Friday. One thing is for sure, if you're lucky enough to land yourself a ticket, expect to hear the hits. Liam spoke with Chris Evans on Virgin Radio back in 2022, reminiscing about the good old days.
For people who don't know what Rockville Studios are, what are they and when did you first see them?
Well, the Rockville Studios in Wales, Monmouth, and loads of bands, Queen and all that stuff, Led Zeppelin I think maybe. The Roses have done their stuff down there, and Oasis done Morning Glory, whenever that was.
27 years ago.
Yeah, 27 years ago, and it's a good studio. I mean, to be fair, I don't remember much about the studios, man. I was sort of in and out, and sort of down the pub. I know I sound like a bit of a pisshead and that, but it was, you know what I mean? I'm not one for hanging about the studio. I sort of get in and do my bit, and then it's like, down to the pub, you know what I mean? Have a good time. So going back there, everyone was going, oh, do you remember this? I'm like, I don't actually. I remember the pub more.
So because you used to pitch up, give it all the beans on the vocals.
Yeah.
And the band, especially Noel, would stick around.
And then they'd stick around and make the music. And I'm not, obviously, I don't play any instruments, so there's no really there's no reason for me. I'd hang about a little bit, but you can't listen to Noel all day doing these riffs and stuff, thinking he's slashing that. I'm like, look, man, if he ain't got this in 10 minutes, I'm going to the pub. And normally he'd be there all day, so it's different, innit? You know what I mean? It's like if I play an instrument, I'd be there helping out or, getting into it. But me and Bonehead would just get his down really quick and we'd just be off in the cars, man, down to the boozer.
So that was then and this is now. Same pub, though, same landlord?
Same, but I think it was a different pub that we was in this time.
Was
and that,
it?
But no, them pubs in Monmouth were well good. We had a good time, man. And the album was, we split up when we did that album and then we got back together again. But no, it was a good time. That's how it should be these days. You know what I mean?
It should be. But one of my favourite songs of yours is Once, which is just such a great song because it's so true, isn't it? You can have that, but you can only have it once. And the thing is, in the future, you look back and you think, well, that can't happen again. But at the time, you don't even think about it anyhow because you're in the moment.
Exactly. Yeah, you just want to. Yeah, you're just having such a good time. You ain't got the energy for it to happen again. You just want it just to all explode after that and be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you've got to go and do it again. The younger generation and the older generation, which ones are still about and that, they want it to happen. So if Noel's not doing it with Oasis, I'll do it on my own. We
had your brother in a week and a bit ago. I won't ask you about him, but I will ask you a question that I meant to ask him and I forgot to ask him.
Go on.
And I was going over thinking, I wish I'd have asked him that question. And it was about your mum, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this ongoing thing, whatever it is and whatever, right? What does your mum think about all that?
Well, as I said to her recently, we're not 19 anymore. So we're I'm in my 50s. He's nearly 50. Right. So why don't you just go make a cup of tea?
Does she have a word, though? Does she have a word?
No, but you know what Irish mums are like? They'll kind of furiously not take sides. And if they can, pretend it's not happening.
Right.
So we don't talk about it. I don't talk about it to my mum. When I go see my mum, I'm always like, I can't, but, you're always kind of, but what do you mean what do you mean you fell over? What are you talking about? And just sort of, I don't see her that often, you know what I mean? When I'm up in Manchester, you just catch up. Not really Can't be bringing it down talking about the other fella. That's
No.
like-
I didn't want to talk about him. I just want to talk about your mum.
Oh, yeah, well,
and
my
her situation in
My
there.
my mum will take off her glasses and put them down and go, how are you, Noreen? How are you? And I'm like, I'm good, Mum. How are you? Oh, it's lovely to see you. Well, I know. We don't talk about it.
Good. All right.
It is not yet known which musicians will join Liam and Noel Gallagher to make up the band for their tour dates. The original band featured Paul Bonehead Arthurs, Paul Gwigsy McGuigan and Tony McCarroll, whilst Alan White, Jem Archer and Andy Bell were later in the band. After forming in the early 90s and releasing their seminal debut album Definitely Maybe in 1994, the Britpop act broke up in 2009 after a bust-up at the Rock and Seine Festival in Paris. Subsequently, Noel and Liam went on to launch successful solo careers. Liam also spoke with Chris Evans previously about his thoughts on the band's breakup.
But me and our kid had some mega times. I'm not having, just because we split up, that was only a little bit, you know what I mean? If you're gonna slice it all open into pieces and that, like we got on we got 80% on 80% of the time, you know what I mean? It's just, but when we didn't get on, it was full on.
So before Oasis happened,
Yeah.
what would you say the sort of percentage of peace to war was compared to as brother? It happens with siblings, doesn't it? Of course it does.
Before we got in a band, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't. No, I don't think we really seen much of each other. I mean, we just sort of brothers and that. But even in Oasis, we got on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when we were in each other's pockets and that, we had some good times. You know what I mean? It was like, and obviously with the booze and the drugs and stuff, and then the egos get involved, and then money gets involved. It's a recipe for disaster. So I think we held out pretty good. You know what I mean? But no, it was all right, man.
You always talk about him with such fond affection. You do,
No, of course, man. I love him, but he does me in as well.
right?
Because we shouldn't have split up, and we should be making music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? All that time wasted over just little bits, and people will go, "Oh, you slagged his missus off. He slagged mine." It was plenty of back and forth. You know what I mean? So don't be making out it was just me. You know what I mean? And it's a shame that we split up because we should be making albums together.
Long-standing rumours of a reunion peaked when both musicians dropped a short clip on their social media accounts. The video, styled with the classic Oasis logo, simply showed the date 27/08/24 before flickering to reveal 8 a.m. For Oasis 2025 ticket details and more information, visit their official website.
Virgin Radio.